So we just finishing off text 18. In the Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada says, Dharmasya Paramo Guyo, Guyaha. So Prabhupada says refers to the most confidential part of all religious principles. And he quotes the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharma Parityaga. Give up all other religious engagement and just surrender onto this. This is the most confidential knowledge in executing religious principles. It means you do everything for Krishna. Everything should be done for his satisfaction. Everything is coming from Krishna. No one is superior to Krishna. So in the bottom of the paragraph, Prabhupada says the Lord is eternal, the Lord's servitor is eternal, and the Lord's abode is also eternal. They are all described here as Sanatana or eternal. The result of devotional service, therefore, is not temporary, as is the achievement of heavenly planets by worshipping the demigods. The sages wanted to stress that although the Lord, out of his causeless mercy, says that he worships the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, actually the Lord is worshipable not only by the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, but also by the demigods. So everyone can worship the Lord. Text 19.
तरन्ति हि अंजसां मृत्युं निवृत्तायत् अनुग्रहात् योगिनः स भवान् किं स्वेत् अनुगृह्येत यत्परैः.
Mystics and transcendentalists, by the mercy of the Lord, cross beyond nescience by seizing all material desires. It is not possible, therefore, that the Supreme Lord can be favored by others. In the Purport, Prabhupada says, unless one is favored by the Supreme Lord, one cannot cross over the ocean of the nescience of repeated birth and death. Here it is stated that yogis or mystics cross beyond nescience by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So basically, we all require the Lord's mercy. You can't even do your karma kanda or karma yogi or jnana yogi. It's not possible. You need his mercy. So Prabhupada says, the karmis particularly search after the favor of the demigods. The jnanis want to become one with the Supreme Absolute Truth. And the yogis are satisfied simply by partial vision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paramatma, and ultimately by oneness with Him. But the bhaktas, the devotees, want to associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead eternally and serve Him. So in the next line, Prabhupada says, by the mercy of the Lord, devotees can easily pass beyond the nescience of birth and death and attain the eternal abode of the Lord. The Lord is therefore not in need of another's favor because no one is equal to or greater than Him. Actually, everyone needs the favor of the Lord for successful understanding of His human mission. So the Lord don't need us, basically. He has everything. He don't need anything. He actually is the source of everything. Sarva Karana. So where is anything we can give Him? The only thing we can give Him is our love, affection, our service. That's the only thing. We can't give Him anything. He doesn't need anything. Rather, He wants to only have a nice, loving relationship. And that's the whole design of this material universe, is for Him to come in different incarnations to attract us. How many kinds of incarnations are there?
6 types.
6 types. No, that's not incarnations. They're unlimited incarnations.
But they are in the category.
That's different.
Types.
That's types. Yeah. Categories of avatars. But that's unlimited. Unlimited types of expansions of the mind. Why?
Because He is unlimited.
Yeah, and then?
Devotees have different modes in which they can.
Yeah, devotees also have different affection for the Lord in different ways. So therefore the Lord comes in unlimited ways and we are unlimitedly attracted to Him. Right? One jiva likes Narsingha, another jiva likes Kurma, and so many avatars He takes. So different jivas are attracted to Him. Why? Then they can go back to God. He comes to attract us. That's His desire. Come back. We can have a great time. Why you are messing around here? So therefore, the Lord doesn't need any kind of favor from us. All He wants is come and play with me. Right? Basically, that's all He wants. He wants you to come and play with Him there. Don't play here alone. Text 20.
यं वै विभूतिरुपयात्यनुवेलमन्ये
यं वै विभूतिरुपयाम्यनुवेलमन्ये
हर्तादिविश्वशिरसाधृतपादरेणुः धन्यार्पिताङ्घ्रितुलसीन वदामधाम्नो लोकं मधुव्रतपतेरिव कामदाना
The goddess of fortune Lakshmi, the dust of whose feet is worn on the head by others, waits upon you as appointed, for she is anxious to secure a place in the abode of the king of bees, who hovers on the fresh wreath of tulsi leaves offered at your feet by some blessed devotee. So tulsi has a very high place with the Lord. So Prabhupada says, as previously described, tulsi has attained all superior qualities due to being placed at the lotus feet of the Lord. The comparison made here is very nice. As the king of the bees hovers over the tulsi leaves offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, so Lakshmi, the goddess who is sought by the demigods, Brahmanas, Vaishnavas and everyone else, always engages in rendering service to the lotus feet of the Lord. The conclusion is that no one can be the benefactor of the Lord. Everyone is actually the servant of the Lord. Okay? Nobody can say, I am benefactor of the Lord. He is our benefactor. Yeah. Remember the verse, Bhaktaram Yididam Sarvalokam Suridam Sarvalokam Jnanam Shanti. So he is our benefactor. Anything, I mean, in a sense, the only thing we can do is offer whatever He has given us back to Him. That's all. Just like when we take bath in Ganga, we take Ganges water and offer to Ganga for blessings. We have nothing. Yeah, we have nothing. So same with the Lord. Again, we have to understand His position and our position. The other thing is, the mention of Lakshmi is very important also, because it is said that previously when Lakshmi came to see Narayan, Jai and Vijay stopped her. And then at that time, she told Narayan, they're going to, because she was not happy, so she said, they cannot be in this position like that. So because of that, this incident also happened. So the Lord brought her to show that her words also became true. So as Vaishnavas, we should be careful how we say or curse people or whatever. Because it may happen, because the Lord may say, okay, let's arrange this to see how it solves the situation. We have to be very careful how we... So anyway, she got annoyed with the gods, and so she said they are not fit to be in that position. They will be cursed or something. So then the four Kumaras came. So this may appear that because of her this happened, but there's another reason behind all this, which will be revealed. Yeah, text 21.
यस्तां विविक्तचरितैरनुवर्तमानाम्
यस्तां विविक्तचरितैरनुवर्तमानाम्
नात्याद्रियात् भागवतप्रसङ्गः
नाट्याद्रियात् परमभागवतप्रसङ्गः
सत्त्वं द्विजानुपतपुण्यरजः पुनीतः
सर्वं द्विजानुपदपुण्यराजपुनीतः
श्रीवत्सलक्ष्मकिं भगभाजनस्त्वम्
श्रीवत्सलक्ष्मणिमयः
O Lord, you are exceedingly attached to the activities of your pure devotees. Yet, you are never attached to the goddess of fortune, who constantly engage in your transcendental loving service. How can you be purified? Therefore, by the dust of the path traversed by the Brahmanas, and how can you be glorified or made fortunate by the marks of Srivatsa on your chest? And it's a fact, he is always glorious. So, how can you compare anything to glorify him? Well, that's how we glorify him. How can you be purified? He's already pure, Purnam, you know. But he takes it upon himself. That's Bhaktavatsala. Yes, I'll take the dust of my devotees on my head. Because they hold me so dear in their heart that I am willing to do this. They become dear to him, very dear, when they are willing to do so much for his pleasure. So the Lord reverses the situation. In the Prabhupada says, it is said in the Brahma Samhita, that the Lord is always served by many hundreds of thousands of goddesses of fortune in his Vaikuntha planet. Yet because of his attitude of renunciation of all opulences, he is not attached to any one of them. It's a very important point. You know, every time we read these things, we think, oh, Lord can have so many things. Why he can have? Right? Why I can't have? Right? The reason why we say why he can have is basically why I can't have. But here is the difference. He is not attached to any one of them. Whereas we are attached to it. We are attached, right? We are attached to so many things we have. From our own children to our equipments, our car, our house, everything, we become very attached. And we can't artificially give up anyway, that's a fact. So we have to learn, okay, I am attached, but how am I going to purify it? So then we have to train to become Krishna conscious. Train ourselves, train our children, use things in the service of Krishna. Everything has to be connected to Krishna. Then we can become detached to it, just like the Lord is detached. All the Shaktis are coming from the Lord, but he is not attached to the Shaktis. Even in the Rasa dance, right? He's dancing and dancing and then boom, disappear. Because the gopis are thinking, oh, I'm so good, he's dancing. The Lord is not interested. Yeah. So therefore, even though he has 6 opulences, unlimited wealth, unlimited fame, unlimited strength, unlimited beauty, unlimited knowledge, and unlimited renunciation, he's not at all attached to anyone. Even so many people are worshipping, goddess of fortune. Right? You go to any Kaka store, Indian stalls, they always have Ganapati or Lakshmi, right? They don't have a Vishnu picture. Yeah.
Why did Krishna do the Rasa dance if he wasn't attracted to the gopis?
He is attracted to his devotees, at the same time he is not attached to them like that. He loves them, so he was with them. And then they were so proud. So he said, well, why are they so proud? So then he left.
So that means we understand that he is attached to the loving activities of the devotees.
Devotional service.
Devotional service.
He's attached to the devotional service.
It's not specifically to each
please the
individual.
senses. He's not there to please your sense. He is attached to your love to him, so he reciprocates for the love. Not that you are thinking, oh, I'm so good, my love for you is the best. No, not then you are thinking selfishly. But if you're thinking, oh, the Lord needs this, I have to show him more affection, I have to feed him nicely, then you're thinking for him. That is what captures the Lord's heart. Same in the Rasa dance. As soon as they are thinking, he likes me best. Anyway, I think that's also a pastime just for us to learn that the gopis are so exalted. He's always in their hearts.
His attachment to us is because of his full independence, whereas our attachment to him is because of our constitutional position.
At the moment, yeah. At the moment, we
don't have a choice.
We are attached to many things at the moment, but ultimately we have to come to the point that the Lord actually loves us on His own. He's Swaraj, independent, but He is loving us with all our faults. He's loving us, and that's why He's coming in different avatars, different features to attract us. So when we learn that, and then we want to reciprocate with Him, we are also behaving in the same way. Like we don't want anything, just that loving relationship. Yeah.
So, Prabhu, why in Prabhu, the first line, it said that he is not attached to any of them, to goddess of fortune. So, does it mean he's not attached to their beauty, but he is still attached to their service?
It's devotional service, that's all. It's not to the features or this or that. Yeah. Because from our point of view, everything has to, like if something looks nice, then we attach to it, right? Otherwise, they become, I'm not interested in this. Even a car also, right? You buy a brand new car, you attach to that. Then if it gets a little bit dirty, you'll clean and all that thing. So you attach to that thing. So that's the level of our attachment. But the Lord is not like that. He's not like that. His attachment, actually you can't even say he's attached. Yeah, he's completely self-satisfied. The only thing is he likes that relationship, that loving relationship. So the service is done by them to the Lord is based on the loving relation. That he finds that attractive. In one sense, he's not even attached to that. You can't actually, you can't really understand.
He's not even attached to his pure devotees because only the loving exchange is fine.
But at the same time, he's poor.
Yeah, at the same time, he's complete. Yes. He reciprocates. But, it's like he reciprocates. Like Prabhupada gives the example. Can the Lord carry, and somebody asks, can he create something so heavy he cannot carry? Then Prabhupada said yes. Then they thought they defeated Prabhupada. Then Prabhupada said, then he'll come in a different avatar and carry it. So it's there's a statement like Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. It's the whole thing is ever increasing. So the relationship is to enhance the love between one another, between the Jiva and Krishna, and his relationship with his Shaktis also. Everything is loving to enhance his pleasure, his Ananda. But the Ananda itself is growing.
But he doesn't need any of this to be Ananda.
Actually, that's what we are saying. He doesn't need anything to be in Ananda, but he wants this relationship also at the same time. So in one Upanishad, it says, originally he was alone, then he wanted relationship, then it became many. Yeah. So it means he wants relationship. The Lord loves the relationship. So when we are here in the material world, he wants our unique relationship. So each jiva has a specific relationship that gives him pleasure. Can give him pleasure if they want to, right? So therefore there's unlimited jivas who can give him unlimited pleasure, including his Shaktis and all. It's in a way we can't understand. All we have to do is love him. That is the only thing we can understand. Now, it's important, then he's inconceivable.
So we also say, right, quantitatively we are one with the Lord. So the tendencies that we have are because
Yes,
God has this
yes,
tendency.
yes.
So that means we also need to
Yes, have a relationship.
Like
That's
to
how
have God.
you understand. Yeah, we are no different from him. We are, as I said earlier on, we are tiny Krishnas also. So whatever he's feeling, we are feeling, but ours are all very minimized. Right. So yeah, we want relationship. Yeah. And he's the source of us, so we want to have a relationship with him. Yeah. So you want to be loved. So that is also in him. But at the same time, he's Purna. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, he's complete. So he doesn't need it, but he needs it in his certain mood. He needs it in certain way. He doesn't need it at the same time. Therefore, he's completely detached.
He doesn't need it, but he wants it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's why they call mercy of the Lord. He desires, by His mercy we can go. Even we do a lot of service and we think we are qualified, now we can go. But no, I think the Lord's mercy only if we desire.
Yeah. It's a Lord's mercy.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's His mercy. Yeah. Because we cannot on our own go to Him. But by showing Him that we love Him, He is captured. Yeah. He allows us to be captured. Yeah. He allows us because that's the only thing I feel in reading is the love that you develop. And that love is what? Hladini potency, manifesting in the jiva. And he is attracted to his Hladini potency. You understand? So that's why he gets attracted to that relationship. But again, it's ever expanding. That relationship between the jiva, Krishna, and within his Shaktis are always increasing. Ever increasing. It is inconceivable. Which is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to give. He said, why are you all suffering here which is limited? Join this to get unlimited happiness. So we don't understand what unlimited happiness is also. We don't understand. But when you do this process, then you will arouse these feelings for the Lord naturally because that's our constitutional position. We are created to serve, and then in service we find full bliss. So that's our position. It may appear complicated, but it's not. It's just one simple thing is to just serve and love. That's all. It's not hard actually to serve and to love. Now the service part may seem hard depending on what you have to do, but those are based on our ahankar. We restrict. The restriction is placed on ourselves by us, not by the Lord. And some people can go out and do a lot of books. Some people can do cooking. Some people. So there are so many ways you can show your love for the Lord. So that's what you need to build up on. Okay, I can do this. I'll do that. You know? Ultimately, the best way to please the Lord is to please His devotees. And when all the devotees work together in tandem, then the Lord becomes very pleased. You can't be an individual person. It's not possible because that mentality is still wrong. You understand? Service means you want to only please Krishna. So if 10 other people are serving Krishna, then you will also join them to serve Krishna. So the goal is to please Krishna, right? So that is the mood that we need to develop. And then that captures him. Somehow, I don't know how, but it captures him. Well, anyway, I said it is because the Hladini potency descends on the jiva, and then he becomes attractive to Krishna in that sense. Attractive, quotes. Because if you read Gopakumar, you'll see when he meets Krishna, in the end, when he comes, Krishna hugs him, no? And then he faints. They just, they roll on the ground. But he faints. He cannot handle it. Krishna is like, I miss you so much. So how can you understand that? So from our point of view, yes, so Krishna also, even though we are separated, right, he still misses us. But he's most happy when we're all together with him. So that is what this whole pastime business going on. So that we all can be together to have the rasa dance with him, where he is happy. Make sense? Yeah, otherwise he's self-sufficient. But the relationship is what gives the unique blends and combinations of joy and even stress and anger and all, right? You go to Dwaraka, Satyabhama is angry, and then you go to Krishna's pastime, Radharani gets angry, you know. All these are amazing things that he wants to experience and enjoy, you know. You can't understand. We don't enjoy anger, right? Somebody is angry. No, but it's always pleasurable. You see his pastime with Radharani, even if she's angry, at the end of the pastime, they're all laughing. And, you know, it's a pleasure just for him. Anyway, it's like we are still in that level. Right? So therefore, we have to work hard together. Everyone has to work together. Because we help each other to go back to God. Not alone you can swim. Like, can you swim the ocean by yourself? No. You probably drown after a while. So you need someone to help you in a boat and stuff like that. Then you can row in the ocean. So we have to work together, help each other. But to help each other, you must become advanced in Krishna consciousness. Because unless you are advanced in Krishna consciousness, you won't think of helping another person. And even if you think of helping another person, you won't know how to help the person unless you are advanced. And an advanced person will tolerate also. Right? You can see so much the gods were cursed. They could have cursed back, right? They didn't curse back, but the only thing they were thinking is, oh, let me not forget my Lord's lotus feet, even if I go and do whatever. So that is it's an amazing thing, because if you put yourself in that situation, what will you do? You'll get angry, you'll shout at them, you'll beat up them like that, right? That's our position. No, don't laugh, it's our position. We are always defending. We never want to accept that we make mistakes. But we made the mistake, the biggest mistake. Now we can't go back. We are stuck. So Prabhupada is giving a way to go back. But to go back, everyone has to cooperate. What does Prabhupada say towards the end of his pastime?
We should all
Show
cooperate.
your affection by cooperating.
Yeah, show your affection by cooperating. So it's not just for only those people who are around him. It's for the whole movement. So then you have to figure out, whenever you have a conflict, you have to ask yourself, this is not what Prabhupada wanted.
ISKCON is my body.
ISKCON is his body. Yeah, so you have to figure out, okay, I'm having conflict, how to resolve the conflict. You have to take a humble position. It's the best way to resolve. So therefore, Prabhupada writes in the verse also, Lakshmi sometimes has to go to satisfy her numerous devotees, but Tulasi leaves never forsake their position. And the Lord therefore appreciates the service of Tulasi more than the service of Lakshmi. How can you understand that? But that's what Prabhupada says. When the Lord says, therefore, that it is due to the causeless mercy of Brahmanas that Lakshmi does not leave him, we can understand that Lakshmi is attracted by the opulence of the Lord, not by the Brahmanas' benedictions upon him. She is Chanchala. Okay? That's why whoever prays her nicely should go. The Lord is not dependent on anyone's mercy for his opulence. He is always self-sufficient. Another reason why Lakshmi is attracted by opulence is, remember she wanted to go into Rasa dance? She didn't want to give up the opulence. So therefore Krishna said, you can't come, but you can remain as a goal line or something. So therefore the Lord doesn't depend on anyone. regardless what opulence or whatever we have. He's always Purnam, self-sufficient. So finally Prabhupada says the Lord's statement that his opulence is due to the benediction of the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas is only to teach others that they should offer respect to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, the devotees of the Lord. Understand? The whole thing is we have to work together, devotees. Because they are respectful. Krishna wants us to be respectful with the devotees. Very important. Because otherwise this whole incident is because there was no respect to one another or affection. You know? As soon as you don't like somebody, you'll behave like this. Right? Let's say you're cooking in a kitchen and then someone you don't like come in the kitchen. Immediately your consciousness is, what happens? It's affected. You're not thinking of cooking for Krishna anymore. You're thinking how to get rid of this person or how you want to get out. Huh? Yeah. So that means it's not Krishna consciousness. We are trying to develop Krishna consciousness. Instead of thinking, oh, this devotee, he is here to help Krishna. They're thinking how to get rid of them out. So that's our position. And we have to get rid of this consciousness. It is what's binding to this material world. All this ahankara, all these problems. Okay, text 22.
Dharmasya te bhagavatastriyugatrivisvaihi
Dharmasya Bhagavatasriyugatrivisvaihi Dharmasya te bhagavatastriyugatrivisvaihi Advescharacharam idam dvijaddevatartam Nunam bhratam tadabhigatirajastamascha Satvena no varadaya tanuvanirasya
Yeah, just don't hold yourself back because you become nervous, then you cannot chant. Just chant the meter. Dharmasya te bhagavata triyuga tridisvai. That way you feel, you are worried, right? It doesn't, because the word is too long and then you're thinking it may not fit and then you adjust and then you miss. It happens to all of us. Even I make mistakes. So not that we are perfect, but don't get nervous.
And also reciting it a little slower helps us.
You're halting a lot. So just
Slowly.
chant slowly, it's okay. Yeah. Translation, O Lord, you are the personification of all religion. All religion. Therefore, you manifest yourself in 3 millenniums, and thus you protect this universe, which consists of animate and inanimate beings. Okay, inanimate beings. By your grace, which is of pure goodness and is the bestower of all blessings, kindly drive away the elements of Rajas and Tamas for the sake of the demigods and twice born. 3 Yuga means he physically comes in avatars in the 3 Yugas. No problem. But in the Kali Yuga, he comes in hidden, Channa avatars. So Prabhupada mentions that also. So Sridhar Swami described 3 Yuga as follows. Yuga means couple and 3 means 3. The Lord is manifested as 3 couples by his 6 opulences or 3 couples of opulences. In that way, he can be addressed as 3 Yuga. So they're so intelligent. The Lord is the personality of religious principles. In 3 millenniums, religious principles are protected by 3 kinds of spiritual culture, namely austerity, cleanliness, and mercy. The Lord is called 3 Yuga in that way also. Wow, so many ways. Huh? In the age of Kali, these 3 requisites to spiritual culture are almost absent. Amazing, huh? How they can describe Tri Yuga means. But the Lord is so kind that in spite of Kali Yuga's being devoid of these three spiritual qualities, He comes and protects the people of this age in His covered incarnation as Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is called covered because although He is Krishna Himself, He presents Himself as a devotee of Krishna, not directly Krishna. The devotees pray to Lord Chaitanya therefore to eliminate their stock of passion and ignorance, the most conspicuous assets of this yuga. Right? We are mostly we do things in passion and then we do it foolishly in ignorance. In the Krishna consciousness movement, one cleanses himself of the modes of passion and ignorance by chanting the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, as introduced by Lord Chaitanya. Also, we do follow what Prabhupada wanted us to do. To hold your mode of goodness, you get up early in the morning. Of course, if you work late and then you shift job, that's a different thing. But in general, yeah, you have to get up early in the morning. That way your body becomes healthy also. If you get up before the sun gets up, and then you develop mode of goodness that way. So, and then you take bath. So you externally you are clean. Then internally you clean yourself by chanting the holy name. And then you go on the altar. You do service for the deities. All this will increase your mode of goodness and reduce your mode of passion and ignorance. So the more service you do, the more you will be in the mode of goodness or transcendental goodness. It's very logical and simple. It's just that you have to decide whether you want to be in ignorance or you want to be in goodness. You have to decide. No one can force you. So the four Kumaras felt that their whole behavior, when they cursed, that's in mode of ignorance. And when they got angry, that's mode of passion also. So they felt that way. Oh, we are in mode of passion and ignorance. Which is a fact in one sense, because they are in Vaikuntha. And in Vaikuntha, how can you curse? Unless there's some reason for it, which we will find out. They felt at that moment that because they are still covered in passion and ignorance. Of course they are not. But they are out of their own feelings of... they felt very bad about the whole situation that it happened.
So they're requesting for the two modes to be removed only for Devatas and Brahmanas, not for all.
Not for all. Yeah, I thought that was also interesting. But if you remember, the qualities of the Devatas is manifest in the devotee. Yeah. So therefore, Devatas means Suras. So anyone who worships Krishna is a Sura. In that sense also, it makes sense. And Brahmanas always worship the Lord and they're always doing service for the Lord in that other sense. So anyone who takes up the Brahmanic culture are in one sense also covered by the term Brahmanas. We can see it like that. Okay, so there was Prabhupada says, since they were conscious of their own weakness, they prayed to the Lord to remove their still existing passion and ignorance. The three transcendental qualifications, cleanliness, austerity, and mercy, are the qualifications of the twice born and the demigods. Generally, they have this qualification, the Brahmanas and demigods, cleanliness, austerity, and mercy. Those who are not situated in the quality of goodness cannot accept these three principles of spiritual culture. So therefore, the Kumaras use the term demigods and Brahmanas. But if, like us, when we follow whatever Prabhupada set up, we will be automatically developing these qualifications. Remember what Prabhupada said, I'm trying to develop Brahmanas. Yeah, first class Brahmanas. Yeah. So anyone who takes up this process is actually becoming a Brahmana. Yeah. Of course, we also have our shortcomings and then we may not be completely Brahmanas. But at least we are trying to become good Vaishnavas. So those who are not situated in the quality of goodness cannot accept these three principles of spiritual culture. So cleanliness, austerity, and mercy. If you don't show mercy to devotees or other living entities, then you must understand that you have a problem. Yeah, you have a problem. So, you have a problem. So you need to work on it. For the Krishna consciousness movement, therefore, there are three sinful activities which are prohibited, namely illicit sex, intoxication, and eating food other than the prasad offered to Krishna. These three prohibitions are based on the principles of austerity, cleanliness, and mercy. Devotees are merciful because they spare the poor animals, and they are clean because they are free of contamination from unwanted foodstuff and unwanted habits. Austerities are represented by restricted sex life. These principles indicated by the prayers of the four Kumaras should be followed by the devotees who are engaged in Krishna consciousness. So that answers your question. But you can see, austerity also means we have to control our senses, speech. Yeah, vacho vegam, manasu krodha vegam, jiva vegam, udara vasya. So all this must be controlled. Very important. We have to control. Then only we can say we are practicing Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, we are not practicing it. So when you deal with devotees, you have to also practice both austerity and mercy and truthfulness. Right? Cleanliness must be there. That is the first thing.
Yeah,
First thing you must have is cleanliness. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Why? It's more of goodness. Goodness is closer to God. Yeah. That's why cleanliness is next to godliness. Text 23.
So they didn't talk about gambling. Means
Huh?
gambling is based on principle different than these three principles which we talk: austerity, cleanliness, and mercy.
He's asking about gambling. Right?
Yeah.
Why is it not fitting in these three? Like we have four regulative principles, right? And where is the gambling fitting in this?
So what is gambling do?
Can you destroy
This truthfulness.
Yeah.
That is not mentioned here because in Kaliva, somewhat Dharma stands alone like that.
No, Prabhupada didn't mention it because he's talking about those qualities, qualification for Brahmanas, and they must have this thing first, like a basis. Because sometimes the Brahmanas may not even speak truth. It appears that way.
Yeah. They cannot be Brahman. If somebody is not speaking the truth,
They cannot be Brahman. So they must be truthful.
first quality is
Yeah.
Default.
the Upanishad story.
Yeah, remember the little boy who comes to the guru to say, I want to be trained. He comes to the guru. And then the guru said, go and find out who you are. He said, who's your father? He said, I don't know who's my father. So ask your mother. So he goes and asks his mother. His mother said, I do not know. Because I am a Dasi. And so you are someone's son. So he went and said, I do not know. I asked my mother, I do not know. So I do not know who I am. So then the guru said, no, you are Brahmana because you are speaking the truth. So therefore, Brahmanas means you must speak truth. So whether they speak lie, when they start speaking lie, then they are not Brahmanas actually. So same with demigods also. They are not supposed to. Yeah. Yeah, so Prabhupada didn't include truthfulness because at least in Kali Yuga, people still hold truthfulness in high esteem, right? You can see in
Still some culture it is there. People are,
not only culture, even in America also, right?
people are,
They have certain thing, they feel they must be truthful about certain thing, you know?
Yeah, yeah, means
Yeah. Yeah means yeah.
because even in office, like they don't want to be like
Exactly,
You
yeah.
accept your
Yeah,
fault.
as
Yes.
long as you don't get
You
caught,
accept your fault and this. Yeah, I did sorry.
you have
It's
to be
happening.
honest.
Honest. It's truth is good.
Yeah.
Integrity.
Yeah, they use the word integrity. Yeah. So that's emphasized in, at least in Kali Yuga, something, you know. Even that also politicians will twist the truth. So the people don't like it. You read, right? They don't like it. But that means they want people to be truthful. So in Kali Yuga, that is there still. It's getting low and low, but it's still there. People still want truthfulness. They want the, like even the president, if they don't speak the truth, they get impeached and stuff like that. So it's like that. There is some semblance still, not completely gone, because the other things are all gone. There's no cleanliness, no austerity, and then no mercy. They don't care. They kill anything they eat. Right? Even in India now, they eat so much meat now. And then no austerity. No cleanliness also. They just wear the same clothes 3-4 days. You know. When you know, when you go to like in the Dham area, you see even when they wear one cloth or two clothes, they wash that. You know, I've seen it many times. They're so clean about that. But even that is gone now. You know, even in India, because one thing I know, Indians are always clean. You know, they will clean everything. But even because I even used to see those people who live, they call them the bungis, right? Right? Bungis? Yeah, even they would get up in the morning and wash and clean themselves so nicely. And then they wear the dirty clothes and go. Right? But you can see that culture is so strong in certain things. But even those are now getting bad.
First thing is bath.
Yeah, first thing is they do. Then I was staying with some devotees' relatives' place. Then I was watching them from one place. Then they were cooking. So the mother got up and she was brushing her teeth. Then she came to the kitchen and started cooking. And I'm like, oh my God. So that is the culture is becoming like that. It is like that. It's getting bad. You know? Yeah. But apart from all that, truthfulness still there. They hold truthfulness in a higher esteem than the other things. Right? They'll say it's okay, that's fine. But truth, yes, must be.
But for the Vaishyas or the Marwadis,
They are allowed to,
tell lies. Right?
yes, for business purpose, I guess, I'm not sure, but there's a certain percentage they can lie to make profit. 10% or something. 10%?
lie.
Yeah.
No.
No.
In order to make 10% profit,
They can lie.
They can stretch the truth.
Yeah. Stretch the truth or something, but they lie. So in business, yes. Yeah. But I've also heard that if the father wants to marry his daughter, he can lie as much as he wants. Is that a fact?
That there is a saying, or what? Ayiram koi choliyaru kalyanam. You tell 1,000 lies and
Thousand
get your
lies
daughter
not to
married.
make a marriage work.
Oh, because the duty is to make sure the daughter is married.
Oh, so that's okay.
I don't know. This is could be.
It's a saying.
Twisted. This could be twisted.
There is no scriptural evidence.
No scripture.
Twisted.
That's why in the marriage we used to the boy will come. The entire house of the person will be like they'll borrow things and
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
That is correct. Right?
I don't know whether it's scripture or not, but the tradition is.
Yeah,
there.
I think you're right. It become a traditional. It's not properly done because according to scripture, the father has to marry the daughter, right? But he should do it in a nice way. But they corrupted the whole thing in the way they present it now. Just get rid of instead of presenting the daughter, they want to get rid of the daughter. So that's why they use that 100 lies or something like that.
Yeah, that's-
And now, like very few people actually really get married under the care of parents. Right? They go to register,
Okay.
like whatever that registration manager.
Austerity of speech also what I heard. Like even when we say the truth has to be said palatable.
Yes.
That it should not make them down. Or
Yes. It's in the Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada mentions that.
Satyam vacha, priyam vacha.
You have to speak in such a way the other person can handle it.
That's the idea.
Not like, you did this, get out. To say that they can accept, okay, I made a mistake. Text 23.
Natvam vijottamakulam yadihatmagopam.
Natvam vijottamakulam yadihatmagopam.
Gopta vrisha swahanena sasunritena.
Gopta vrisha swahanena sasunritena.
Tarhyevanamshati shivastavadeva panta.
Tarhyevanamshati shivastavadeva panta.
Loko grahishya drishabhasya hita pramanam.
Loko grahishya drishabhasya hita pramanam.
O Lord, you are the protector of the highest of the twice born. If you do not protect them by offering worship and mild words, then certainly the auspicious path of worship will be rejected by people in general who act on the strength and authority of your Lordship. So it's a right prayer. If the Lord doesn't do, then everyone will say the Lord didn't do. Like Krishna in Dwaraka, he had to do so many of the things he didn't have to do. And then he even told Arjuna, right, if I don't do it, then people will use me as an example and not do it also. Right? Yad Achariti Shrestha. Right? So therefore he wants to set good examples. So the sages, Kumaras are praying. You have to do it because you are setting example for other people to follow. So basically he's also praising the Brahmanas because he is their well-wisher and he is their protector also. So Prabhupada also quotes, Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. He protects the cow, he protects the Brahmanas. So then Prabhupada said, Krishna himself personally came in this planet and he set this example by himself being a cowherd boy. Protect the cows and then protect the Brahmanas. So Prabhupada writes in the last paragraph, if this system, that means the system of protection of the Brahmanas and all, not introduced by the leaders, then human civilization will be lost. When there's no protection and special treatment for persons who are devotees of the Lord, who are highly intelligent in spiritual life, then the whole society is lost. The word Nangshyati indicates that such a civilization becomes spoiled and is annihilated. The kind of civilization recommended is called Deva Patha, which means the royal road of the demigods. Otherwise, it's the royal road of hell. Demigods are supposed to be fully fixed in devotional service or Krishna consciousness. That is the auspicious path that should be protected. If the authorities of the leaders of society do not give special respect to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas and do not offer them not only sweet words but all facilities, then the path of progress will be lost to human civilization. The Lord personally wanted to teach this, and therefore he offered so much praise to the Kumaras. So it is to establish the culture, the religious behavior, sadachar, all those things. The Lord is showing how to behave, particularly towards someone who is supposed to be elevated and cultured. But it doesn't mean for us that when someone we meet, if we know they are not well educated, does it mean we treat them badly?
No.
Why? Yeah, basically that's culture means you treat everyone Not only equal,
With respect.
with respect, because they are part and parcel of Krishna, they are devotees of Krishna, whether they know it or not. So that is very important. Huh?
Last chapter of Ante Leela said that way to show respect to everybody is thinking that Krishna is sitting there in their heart.
In their heart, yeah. Yeah, when you pay obeisance, it's not that you're paying to that person, you're actually paying to the Paramatma in that person's heart. Or the person is representing Krishna or the Guru or whatever. That's why we do all this thing. And to the sannyasa, yes. Therefore, it's important to practice this sincerely. One way you can develop humility is whenever first time you see some devotee, you pay obeisance to them. Right? Prabhupada introduced that. Okay, this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Uttamahanya Vaishnava Habe Niravdimana Jive Shamana Dive Jani Krishna Adhisthana. In Bengali, you probably pronounce differently. Although a Vaishnava is the most exalted person, he is prideless and gives all respect to everyone, knowing everyone to be the resting place of Krishna. So therefore, you know, a lot of times devotees don't pay obeisance nowadays. It becomes too much of a burden to go down and pay obeisance, right? But actually, that's how you should practice. Every time first time you see the devotee, at least for first time. Prabhupada used to say, when the devotees were saying, we pay every time, then Prabhupada said, come in the morning at Mangala Arati, after Tulsi Arati, pay obeisance. So everyone is receiving at that time, even the sannyasis, everyone.
For spiritual master, every time.
Yeah, for spiritual master, of course, you pay every time, unless your spiritual master says, stop it, just one time is enough. Then you do it. Because I know when I was saying I'll pay, he'll say, just stop it, okay? You're distracting. Yeah, that becomes this. So you pay, then because and then the other time also he'll say why you didn't pay. Yeah. So you have to know if you think you can get away with it, then the Paramatma will reveal things. You can't.
Even some Maharajas
But
doesn't
point,
like obeisance on airport also sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the reason is airport common people cannot understand why you pay obeisance. So they don't want to create these problems. Yeah, if 2,000 of you are there and you pay, then they all will say there's something there. But otherwise, you don't do it. Yeah. So this culture must be kept intact. We cannot lose this culture. Because as we are in a different society now, right, in America, so your children will be growing up in a different way. So the tendency is to relax the culture. It's different. Culture is different from training a child is different. Right? So think about it and then you try to apply it. Text 24.
One clarity. So as per the Bengali version, right? So he says that because I'm paying obeisance because you're the resting place of the Lord.
Yeah.
That means you are paying obeisance to both the soul and the Lord, right? It's not just you're praying obeisances only to the Paramatma in their heart.
Yeah. Basically, he's saying, I'm paying obeisance to you because you are so great that you're keeping the heart in your heart, the Lord in your heart. So therefore, I'm paying obeisance to you. Yeah. That's the main thing he's saying. But the other thing is we are also paying for a neophyte, we pay obeisance because the Lord is in the heart. But the one who's advanced is paying obeisance to that person because he can carry the Lord in the heart. You understand?
Right. So then this way we can never go wrong.
Yes, exactly.
We can never go wrong.
You never go wrong, both neophyte and advanced. You still have to pay obeisance. You have respect.
That's how it's said, like Vaishnavas should be respected.
Yeah. Must.
That's a minimum first. Even for a new fight.
Yeah. Must offer. So the more you do that, you will develop humility actually. But then don't do it like, okay, I have to do boom and then like that. But you have to think in your mind, this person is dear to Krishna. Like, okay, bro. Text 24.
तत्तेन विष्टमिव सत्त्वनिधेर्विदित्सोः क्षेमं जनाय निजशक्तिविरुद्धृते तरेः नैतावतात्र यदिपतेर्भत विश्वभर्तोस् तेजक्षतां त्व अवनातस्य साति विनोदः
Dear Lord, you never want the auspicious path to be destroyed, for you are the reservoir of all goodness. Just to benefit people in general, you destroy the evil element by your mighty potency. You are the proprietor of the three creations and the maintainer of the entire universe. Therefore, your potency is not reduced by a submissive behavior. Rather, by submission, you exhibit your transcendental pastimes. So they acknowledge that, it's inconceivable, the Lord's position, right? And so when he's doing all that, they say this is your Leela. Just like Prabhupada explains, Lord Krishna was never reduced in his position by becoming a coward boy or by offering respect to Sudama Brahmana. Or his other devotees like Nanda Maharaj, Vasudeva Maharaj, Yudhishthira, and the Pandavas' mother Kunti. It didn't matter because he's always the Supreme Lord. His behavior was what was exemplary. He's showing how to do it in the right way. Even Kunti was amazed, right? Lord, how you're doing this? And then she said it's easy for a woman because they accept without having to think too much. Whereas most of us try to figure out why like this, why like that. He is always Satchidananda Vigraha. He never reduced. Even with his expansion of Maya and this material, he is always Satchidananda, even when he comes into this material universe. So Prabhupada says, we should try to understand the appearance of Lord Krishna in this spirit, as the Kumaras pray to him. He is eternally a cowherd boy at Vrindavan. He is eternally the leader of the battle of Kurukshetra. And he is eternally the opulent prince of Dwaraka and the lover of the damsels of Vrindavan. That means he is doing all this at the same time, eternally. Cannot understand this. All his appearances are meaningful because they show his real characteristics to the conditioned souls who have forgotten their relationship with the Supreme Lord. He does everything for their benefit. Remember I was saying he takes avatar just to attract us back. The force exhibited in the battle of Kurukshetra by the desire of Krishna and through the agency of Arjuna was also necessary because when people become too irreligious, force is required. Non-violence in this respect is rascaldom. So we don't know how to use violence. Krishna knows. And Acharya knows. So we are not in the position to use violence to go and do that. So don't go and, say non-violence is rascaldom. Don't be like that. We have to tolerate first. And by chanting and giving prasadam, people's heart will change. So you don't have to use any violence. We don't need to use violence. Text 25.
यं वानयोर्धममधीश भवान् विदत्ते वृत्तिं नु वा तदनुमान्महि निर्व्यलीकम् हस्मासु वाय उचितो ध्रियतां सदण्डो येनागसौ वयमयुङ्स्महि किल्बिषेण
O Lord, whatever punishment you wish to award to these two innocent persons or or also to us we shall accept without duplicity. We understand that we have cursed two faultless persons. So they have realized their mistake, and now they say you can punish us also. So Prabhupada writes towards the end, in general, when dealing with devotees, we should not try to find faults. In Bhagavad Gita also it is confirmed that the devotee who faithfully serves the Supreme Lord, even if found to commit a gross mistake, should be considered a sadhu or saintly person. Due to former bad habits, he may commit some wrong, but because he is engaged in the service of the Lord, that wrong should not be taken very seriously. What it means is, all of us have some problems, some bad habits. It's going to manifest in one way or another. Our behavior towards people, the way we talk, So that behavior, that habit is going to be there until we are completely purified. So it may come up once in a while. So what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to just tolerate those things. Not jump on the person. We cannot do that. Right? If somebody has due to past karma, his eyes is always going like that, right? So then he's talking to somebody, some Mataji, and preaching, and he's thinking that. You cannot blame him for that, right? Right? Just giving an example. So that way we may have some fault, right? Some bad habit. Then, you may preach very nicely, then you were walking by some coffee shop and then you smell the coffee, and then just like the Kumaras, they smell tulsi, you smell coffee. So you go and then you drink coffee. Doesn't mean that you are a bad person. You just had a mistake at that time. Like that. We shouldn't jump on people because people can make mistakes. And as long as you have this material body, you won't make mistakes until you become liberated. Therefore, it's important to understand our situation, not just understand. Just like you want people to be nice to you, right? So you should also be nice to people. Yeah, there's a saying, right? Do unto others as you would like others to do unto you. Right? So before you want to say something, you must think, how should I say this thing that will not hurt them and will maintain our relationships. Now, there is many ways to do it. If you are not an advanced devotee, you don't do it. You go to a senior devotee to say, there is an issue, please help. Yeah. It's a nice person, but you need to help because I don't want that person to get hurt. Right? Some of us or all of us here may be very sensitive people. Actually, most devotees are very sensitive. They're like sparks or like firecrackers. You tell them one thing only, you can hear the cracker going. Right? Even when you discuss and then someone can have a very stubborn position, the person who's talking cannot tolerate, it starts shouting, you are like that, why are you like that? Why you can't accept my position? And they just calm down, It's just a discussion. People can take extreme views. Isn't it? He's saying he's like that. So that's what basically it is, The Kumaras felt very bad, they made a mistake. Why? Because they were quick to judge. They are very controlled personalities still because of some pastimes. So they were in the pastime. Yeah.
It's like the way they are asking is, they are saying that these two Jay and Vijay were innocent and faultless, but at the same time they are asking whatever punishment you wish to give them. Generally, when we see
they didn't say punishment.
Whatever punishment
you wish to whatever punishment for them, yes.
So, in general, what we say, if somebody is innocent, we will only ask for us, right? Whatever punishment you want to award me.
No, you see, you have to understand. From the they realize now that they made a mistake, because even if they were wrong, they are not the one to punish them.
Yeah, Lord's,
you understand?
Okay, yeah, from the Lord's perspective.
Lord is the one who can punish anyone ever. They are not the judge in the rule. So they made this mistake. They felt that, okay, if they had made the mistake, then it's your job to punish them, not us.
They think they are faultless.
Huh?
They are saying they are
From their perspective.
Humility.
But they, as per Krishna's wish, right? He said like they should not be offending Brahmanas.
Yeah. They cannot take the position of chastising or passing this judgment. That's how they feel. Even though they had made mistakes. Sometimes when the child makes a mistake, right? Usually the parents say it's a child only. But if the same adult does the same thing, how you like? You will get angry, right? Yeah. But still, the point here is they didn't want to be the one to have done that. They didn't want to be the one to curse. Yeah. They were saying they could have made a mistake. There could have been a mistake. We feel that was not right, how they dealt with it. But we shouldn't jump to the conclusion. So then they say, if you wish to, right, whatever punishment you wish to award to these two innocent persons, or also to us, because for our mistake of cursing. Yeah. All right. 26.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha Etau suretaratim pratipadya sadhya Sambrambha samvrita samadhi anubhadda yogau Bhuyau sakashamupayasya ta'ashuyo vaha Sapo mayaiva nimita tadaveta vipraha
The Lord replied, O Brahmanas, know that the punishment you inflicted on them was originally ordained by me. Now he is revealing. And therefore they will fall to a birth in a demoniac family. So now again he is confirming it. But they will be firmly united with me in thought through mental concentration intensified by anger, and they will return to my presence shortly. So as far as is concerned, shortly means very quickly. In the Vaikuntha time, no time. Right. Huh?
Brahma's time should be very short.
Yeah, it's very short actually. Yeah. So he wanted them to come back quickly. But they can go and do that. Nimisha. Very short. Less than the Nimisha. Well, according to Narayana's time. So, what do you understand now? After all that, the whole drama was set up by the Lord himself. And there's a reason why. Because in Vaikuntha, he cannot actually have a fight. Physical. Because everyone is there. Oh no, they all on at once. So they won't have actually in Golaka they'll fight with Krishna wrestling and all. Yeah, covered boys. But in Vaikuntha everything is on at once. So then the Lord is willing. The Vaikuntha Nath wants to have a wrestling match or gusti. Yeah, stretch some muscles. So he's feeling this rasas develop in the Lord, right? He's spontaneous. So he wants that. So for that to happen, he needs his own intimate devotees to be the opposition. Just like in drama, if you have someone you know opposite, you can act very nicely. If you don't know the person who's there, you also feel uncomfortable. But this person is qualified. Not that anyone can be the Lord's enemies. You must have certain qualifications. Or you are so bad that the Lord has to come and destroy you.
He doesn't know. He just cast them.
He can easily kill all of them through his material nature, energy, easily. But for his own pleasure, he comes to fight. So that's why when we read early on, when Varahadev, how he enjoyed the fighting, right? So because he wanted to have that, he let the guy beat him a bit. Oh, okay, now I beat you. It's inconceivable again. But so he wanted to experience this fighting. So Prabhupada says the fighting spirit also exists in the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, how could fighting be manifested at all? The Lord is the source of everything. Anger and fighting are also inherent in his personality. When he desires to fight with someone, he has to find an enemy. But in Vaikuntha world, there is no enemy because everyone is engaged fully in his service. So therefore, he sometimes comes to the material world as an incarnation in order to manifest his fighting spirit. Huh? Yeah. So he selected Jai and Vijay because they are very dear to him. And for this reason, he was set up. The Lakshmi incident plus the sages to come and curse them. So this is all set up by the Lord. So we cannot understand how the whole intricacy. This is why in the Kurukshetra battle, right? The Lord could easily kill all of them, but it was taking too long. Right? It was taking too long. From the time in Gokul, he was killing all these demons. Every few days he was killing a few. It was taking too long. Then when Jarasandha came, so many times he defeated, this rascal kept coming. So the Lord said, okay, I'll have a plan. So he organized the whole thing, where the gambling match, where they would try to strip Draupadi, who would then get very angry, the Pandavas would get angry. So they are willing to go to battle. Up to that time, they were very tolerant and peaceful. So once he got them all riled up, he said, okay, now when the battle, when they refused to give the land after they took it back, which they promised, then they are supposed to die. According to Dharma, they are supposed to give back, right? They didn't give back. They stole the land, they don't want to give back. So anyone who steals a land must also be killed. So all those things were accomplished by the Lord. So they got all the qualification to be killed in the battlefield. So then all the Kshatriyas were demonic or evil or very powerful or even devotees, they were made to come there because it was also coming to the end of Kali Yuga also. So the Lord said, okay, now I can wrap up these things. And after that he wrapped up his own pastime, which we also were discussing in the previous chapters. Yeah, so this is the reason for the Lord wanting to have this nice fight scene. He had two people to fight with, Hiranyaksha and then Hiranyakashipu. Big, nice fight. and both of them didn't see the Lord in that mood, right? They saw some animal or something they were fighting. So therefore they came back again 3 times. Actually he gives them, how many times? 3 times as a demon or 6 times as devotees. So they were saying 6 times is too long. We will miss you so much. So 3 times is good enough. We will be demons. But the Lord knew also they will ask for demons. Because who want to stay so long, right? So he got his chance, to fight with them.
Right. Underneath, actually, they wanted to serve the Lord in that capacity.
Yes.
They know that they could not serve that Lord in Vaikuntha like that.
Yes. That is the other, also, thank you for reminding me. They couldn't serve the Lord in an intimate way also, so they wanted to do that. So
they want to get up and bring the Lord there.
So then this was also, they were also thinking.
They understood the mood of the Lord.
Yeah.
And they want to serve him.
Yeah. So they also wanted to. So everything is set up nicely. Perfect. Next 27.
ब्रह्मोवाच अताते मुनयो दृष्ट्वा नयनानन्दभाजनम् वैकुण्ठं तत्प्रतिष्ठानम् विकुण्ठं च स्वयं प्रभम्.
Brahma said, after seeing the Lord of Vaikuntha, the Supreme Personality Godhead in the self-illuminated Vaikuntha planet, the sages left their transcendental abode. And so Vaikuntha is self-illuminated. It's very eco-friendly. Here we have to burn something of electricity or all those things. We don't need all that in Vaikuntha. The whole planet itself is illuminated. Remember when Mahavishnu glances at Pradhan, Pradhan becomes Mahatattva, and Mahatattva becomes a bit more lighted up. Before that, it was dark. Then so his potency, once it comes in, it lights up. Just like the Brahmajyoti is effulgent because of many not only planets. It's effulgence of the Lord plus the jivas in there. They are also effulgent. So it is self-effulgent, basically. So when Krishna killed Vyomasura, right? What happened?
His soul went.
Yeah, when the soul came out, it was very effulgent. Yeah, so we are all part and parcel of Krishna. It's self-effulgent. So his planets, the Vaikuntha planets, are created from his expansion, Balaram, so they are all alive also. Anyway, don't think too much. You will get confused. But everything is self-effulgent. And of course, within the planet, within Vaikuntha, the days, nights are there, but that is arranged by Yogamaya portals. So they think, oh, it's night time, they sleep and get up like that. But it's all self-effulgent. Yes.
So in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna gives only a brief glimpse.
Yeah, in the 8th chapter. Yeah.
But then you have to go through all these other literatures to get the complete picture.
Complete understanding.
So for traditions which only follow Bhagavad Gita, then they are losing out.
No, generally they also refer to the Puranas and all, no? Not just Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, they refer to Puranas and the Vedas itself. Yeah. But the main text they will refer to is Bhagavad Gita. Because Bhagavad Gita is written in what? Lokika Sanskrit. It means spoken Sanskrit. Yeah. So it's easily understandable. Whereas the Vedas are written in coded. So it's very hard to understand. Huh? Yeah, you need to unzip it. So it's very hard to understand the information in there. So nowadays people just refer to Bhagavad Gita. But to remember, when you read Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada says one should read it under the guidance of a devotee. You can't just read on your own. And so anybody who reads it will come to their own fertile conclusions, but that's not recommended. You have to have someone to guide you.
Yeah, so when we were distributing books in the Seattle Center, one person came and said, yes, Swami Prabhupada's book. And I asked him, what have you done since he received the book 30, 40 years ago? He said, I read it and I practiced my own yoga.
So that's okay, that's great.
I mean, his own formula.
Yeah, that's fine. He read Prabhupada's book, right? That's great. Yeah, exactly. You have to see this jiva is lost, but he at least touched Prabhupada books and read it. So you can always wish him well. Yeah. What can you do? They always talk like that. So many of them, I read, I'm finished with the Krishna consciousness. How can you be finished? You're part and parcel of Krishna. Yeah?
Not even bigger.
Yeah. So you will be attracted to Krishna sooner or later. So, yeah, let me just. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha never returned to material world, but the incident of Jaya and Vijaya was a different case. They came to the material world for some time and then they returned to Vaikuntha. So Prabhupada is telling us that they are going to go back, confirming it. Sometimes people think, they came and then what happened to them? No, they came. They did 3 pastimes. Actually, they did 4. Could be more also, we don't know. But they came 3 times and then they came again as Jagai and Madai. Yeah. Extended pastime. Special. They wanted to come again. Like that. Text. Let me see. Yeah, text 28.
Bhagavantam parikramya pranipatyanumannya cha pratijagmoho pramuditaha samsanto vaishnavim shriyam.
The sages circumambulated the Supreme Lord, offered their obeisances and returned, extremely delighted at learning of the divine opulences of the Vaishnava. So they realize what is the position of a Vaishnava. Text 29.
Bhagavan Anugavaha Yatam Ma Vaishnamastusam Brahmadeja Samartopi Antum Necha Matam Tume.
The Lord then said to his attendants, Jaya and Vijaya, depart this place, but fear not. All glory is unto you. Though I am capable of nullifying the Brahmana's curse, I would not do so. On the contrary, it has my approval. How you feel, right? If somebody do something to you, you feel so bad. You know? But this Vaikuntha Vasis, they are like, okay, no problem. You know? Yeah. So this is the Lord's intimacy with his two servants, Jaya and Vijay, very close. So he's saying, don't worry, just go. You know, all glories to you also. You know, so he got so close. You know, who would say all glories to you if you are a crook, right? So it's like amazing. So therefore, once you are accepted by Krishna, means you are always with Krishna. You're never falling down. That is the conclusion Prabhupada says of this incident. Now, Jiva Goswami indicates, this is from Gurujan Prabhu's notes, that the devotional intimacy between the Lord and his gatekeeper was greater than that between the Lord and the Kumaras. Okay, remember you asked yesterday? Yeah, now you know. That's why the Lord is like talking to them, don't worry at all. And why? Because anyway, we went through several verses and you can see how the Lord was more supporting his servants than the Kumara. So those verses make it clear, including this particular verse, that Jaya and Vijaya were the Supreme Lord's personal associates and had achieved the special mercy of his close service. The Kumaras, on the other hand, were more distantly associated with the Lord in the mood of awe and reverence. Yeah. These are very intimate. They are dasya, you know.
Sometimes like when children's fight, right?
Yeah.
The mother might take up the question of the support the younger child, even though he might have done
Right.
And then later he will
Don't worry, yeah. That's true. That's a nice example. The children may fight and then the parents may support one child, a younger child, say, you don't do that, go. And then when the young child is happy, he'll call the older child, don't worry, just, I'll give you some sweet. So that's what it's like that. The Lord says, don't worry. You know, all glory to you. We all experience. Next 30.
Etat puraiva nirdishtam Ramaya kruddaya yada Purapavarita dvari Vishante mayuparate.
This departure from Vaikuntha was foretold by Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. She was very angry because when she left my abode and then returned, you stopped her at the gate while I was sleeping. Text 31.
Mayi samrambha yogena Nisthira brahma helanam Pratyeshyatam nikasam me Kalena piyasa punaha.
The Lord assured the two Vaikuntha inhabitants, Jaya and Vijaya, by practicing the mystic yoga system in anger, you will be cleansed of the sin of disobeying the Brahmanas and within a very short time return to me. So the Lord advised the two doorkeepers, Jaya and Vijaya, that by dint of bhakti yoga in anger, so they can do it, not us, okay? They would be delivered from the curses of the Brahmanas. Srila Madhava Muni remarks in this connection that by practicing bhakti yoga, one can become free from all sinful reactions. Even a Brahma shapa or curse by a Brahmana, which cannot be overcome by any other means, can be overcome by bhakti yoga. So bhakti yoga is very important. So we should do it favorably. Jaya and Vijay can do it in the anger mode because they have special protection. Okay, so you can't think I will do like that. Huh? Yeah, it's sanctioned, but very special. Now, in the last paragraph, Prabhupada writes, in the material planets there are different grades of sinful activities, of which disrespecting a Brahmana or a Vaishnava is the most sinful. Okay? So don't disrespect Brahmanas or devotees. Please be very conscious about this. Because Prabhupada also says, don't do that. Here it is clearly stated that one can overcome even the grave sin simply by thinking of Vishnu, not even favorably, but in anger. Thus, even if those who are not devotees always think of Vishnu, they become free from all sinful activities. Which is true. Even Shishupal, right? He was so angry, he was so envious, still he was purified. Krishna consciousness is the highest form of thought. Lord Vishnu is thought of in this age by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. From the statements of the Bhagavatam, it appears that if one thinks of Krishna even as an enemy, that particular qualification, thinking of Vishnu or Krishna, cleanses one of all sins. Smartavya Satatam Vishnu. Yeah, but we should think favorably. Okay, not unfavorably. Text 32.
द्वाष्टाव आदिश्य भगवान् विमानश्रेणिभूषणम् सर्वातिशयया लक्ष्म्या जुष्टं स्वं विष्णुमाभिषत्.
After thus speaking, at the door of Vaikuntha, the Lord returned to his abode, where there are many celestial airplanes and all surpassing wealth and splendor. So again, Brahma is describing how wonderful the Vaikuntha abode is. So you can read more about this even in later chapters of the Bhagavatam. Text 33.
रौतुगीर्वाण ऋषभौ पृष्ठराद्धरिलोकतः हतश्रियौ ब्रह्मशापात् भूतां विगतस्मयौ.
But those two gatekeepers, the best of the demigods, their beauty and luster diminished by the curse of the Brahmanas, became morose and fell from Vaikuntha, the abode of the Supreme Lord. So basically the Lord sanctioned that. Okay, they can't fall. The Lord made them live with His potency. Text 34.
तदा वैकुण्ठदिशनात् तयो निपतमानयोः हाहाकारो महानासी विमानाग्रेषु पुत्रकः.
Then as Jaya and Vijaya fell from the Lord's abode, a great roar of disappointment arose from all the demigods who were sitting in their splendid airplanes. So these demigods are different, no? Because the ones that are asking, and if these are the same demigods, they should know. So these are like the Lord's special Adi Devas, original demigods, like the prototypes. Yeah. Text 35.
तवेव यदुना प्राप्तौ कर्षदा पर्वरौ हरेः दिते जतरा निर्दिष्टम् काश्यपं तेज उल्बणम्.
Brahma continued. Those two principal doorkeepers of the personality of Godhead have now entered the womb of Diti, the powerful semen of Kasyapa Muni, having covered them. So now he is telling why this thing, darkness is coming, so they can understand that. So Prabhupada says here's a clear proof of how a living entity coming originally from Vaikuntha Loka is engaged in material elements. A living entity takes shelter within the semen of a father, which is injected within the womb of a mother. And with the help of the mother's emulsified ovum, the living entity grows a particular type of a body. Alright, then later on he says, for this purpose, the Garbhadana Samskara is recommended in the Vedic scriptures. Why is it recommended? So that they can get good children. If the mind of the father is not sober, the semen discharge will not be very good. Thus, the living entity wrapped in the matter produced from the father and mother will be demoniac like Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. The conditions of conception are to be carefully studied. This is a very great science. Text 36.
Tayorasurayoradya Tejasayamayorhivah Akshiptam tejayetarhi Bhagavam Sadvidi Sati.
It is the prowess of these twin asuras, demons, that has disturbed you, for it has minimized your power. There's no remedy within my power. However, for it is the Lord Himself who desires to do all this. So basically, the two demons in the womb of Diti, Hiranyaksha, are so powerful, and they are endowed with this power by the personality of Godhead Himself. And so the Lord is allowing them to use this power to cloud the universe. So that is what they are witnessing, the darkness. So He's saying, I can't do anything because the Lord wants this to happen. So let's see what happens. Text 37.
Vishwasya yastiti layodbhava heturadyo Yogeshwarairapi duratyaya yogamayaha Kshemam vidasyati sano bhagavam trayadhisha Tatrasmadiyya vimrishena kiyani hartaha
My dear sons, the Lord is the controller of the three modes of nature and is responsible for the creation, preservation, and dissolution of the universe. His wonderful creative power, Yogamaya, cannot be easily understood even by the masters of yoga. That most ancient person, the personality of Godhead, will alone come to our rescue. What purpose can we serve on His behalf by deliberating on the subject? So basically he says, don't get involved in this thing, because you can't go and fight this darkness. You'll just have to tolerate this thing. So when something is arranged by the Lord, Prabhupada says one should not be disturbed by it, even if it appears to be a reverse according to one's calculation. So our own life we should see, sometimes it is things may be the other way around. So Prabhupada says, for example, sometimes we see that a powerful preacher is killed, or sometimes he is put into difficulty, just as Haridas Thakur was. He was a great devotee who came into this material world to execute the will of the Lord by preaching the Lord's glories. But Haridas was punished at the hands of the Kazi by being beaten in 22 marketplaces. Similarly, Lord Jesus Christ was crucified. Prahlada Maharaja was put through so many tribulations. The Pandavas, who were direct friends of Krishna, lost their kingdom. Their wife was insulted, and they had to undergo many severe tribulations. Seeing all these reverses affect devotees, one should not be disturbed. One should simply understand that in these matters there must be some plan of Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Bhagavatam's conclusion is that a devotee is never disturbed by such reverses. He accepts even reverse conditions as the grace of Lord. One who continues to serve the Lord even in reverse conditions is assured that he will go by such reverses. He accepts even reverse conditions as the grace of the Lord. One who continues to serve the Lord even in reverse conditions is assured that he will go back to Godhead, back to the Vaikuntha planets. Lord Brahma assured the demigods that there was no use in talking about how the disturbing situation of darkness was taking place, since the actual fact was that it was ordered by the Supreme Lord. Brahma knew this because he was a great devotee. It was possible for him to understand the plan of the Lord. Brahma is Trikalagyan. He could see all these things, so he is explaining to them. Whatever is revealed to him, he is explaining. So he says, don't get involved in this because the Lord is behind this. Even if you try, you're not going to get much results in it. So don't do all these things. So Prabhupada's point is, as devotees, we are going to face a lot of difficulties also. So we should see the Lord behind it. Maybe it's for our good. Even if it's not good, every time we only want good things, When the thing is not so good, we will think something else, right? Why I'm going to suffer like that. So we have to tolerate. Sometimes you want to eat nicely, you go to a home and then they will give you something bad. And then you are thinking, why like that? Maybe the Lord wants you to eat, then be tolerant and say, this is good enough. Yeah. So I'm giving an example where you can understand. Or sometimes you meet devotees who are very angry with you for something you think is small. But then you have to learn, I have hurt this devotee, that's why he or she is angry. How am I going to help them? Or the other thing is, there is a lesson for me to learn. Otherwise this thing should not have happened. Right? Sometimes you do things sincerely and then it is the worst thing. So that means Krishna wants you to learn a valuable lesson. So you have to try to learn by chanting nicely, asking senior devotees how to overcome these disturbances like that. So that is basically what this purport is all about. If there's no questions, then we can stop here. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta Purport to the 3rd canto, 16th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Two Doorkeepers of Vaikuntha, Jaya and Vijay, Cursed by the Sages. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Gaura Prabhupada.